Some of you may remember my friend Sally Reynolds. She's done a number of segments on Volunteer Gardener with us over the years, and we're in Sally's garden today celebrating 30 years. And the garden's still beautiful and bringing you tremendous joy.
It is bringing me tremendous joy. And it has had many changes over the decades.
Right.
I mean, where we are standing now with completely full sun, we now have a beautiful overstory of mature trees.
Golden rain tree, styrax.
Styrax japonica, a real favorite of mine, the lily of the valley tree.
Right.
In beautiful full bloom over the Mother's Day weekend and many days after. Although you do have to pay for all of the flowers that fall on the deck.
Like snow.
So, like snow. So you are
Yes.
doing some cleaning. But as far as I'm concerned,
Worth every
it's
bit of
worth.
effort.
It is.
A lot of beautiful vignettes in this garden, and I know that you are all about views.
I am.
And there are places to sit, there are places to stand and look across different views and vistas from every vantage point.
A garden environment, I mean, to me, to create a garden, you have to have some rooms and spaces.
Right.
And as you are thoughtful to develop a space and how it could transition to another space, a vision that certainly wasn't completely there at the very beginning starts to take shape.
I think doesn't really matter the size of the garden that you're in.
Exactly.
You can be in a very small garden.
You can be.
And still create
Yes.
a view, even if it's a borrowed view.
Absolutely. You
So,
certainly can.
Yeah.
You know, we're fortunate here. We do have some space where, you know, the vistas are a little bit longer.
Right.
The views are a little bit longer, but still, yes.
So one of the most important things you would say as you're designing a garden is to think about those views
Absolutely.
and vistas.
Absolutely.
You also are a plant collector.
I am.
You're a plant nut like all of us are, and you have quite a collection of plants here. But I know certainly hydrangeas have been important to you over the years.
Extremely.
As I drove in this morning, the oak leaves greeting me at the front gate were spectacular. And as I look around us now, there are a great many hydrangeas either in bloom or getting ready to flower here in the next few weeks.
Right.
Any favorites?
You know, I love the macrophyllus and the serratus. Obviously, they take shade. I love the oak leaves, and they can tolerate a combination of shade and sun.
Right.
My most recent introduction, which I'd had on my list for years and didn't have until a couple years ago, was the limelight hydrangea, which is in the paniculata family.
Right.
Which is, you know,
Flowers
with
later
tardive-
in the summer.
It does. And it's, you know, it's a full sun plant, very vigorous. I mean, you can just prune the heck out of that, and it's just going to bounce right back
Right.
for you.
Flowers on its new wood.
Flowers on its new
So
wood.
you can prune it hard and still get blooms,
Exactly.
unlike your serratas and your
Exactly.
macrophyllus, where
Exactly.
if you prune them, a lot of times you lose your bloom if you do
You
it at the wrong
could.
time of year.
You're right.
So
You're right.
let's talk about serrated hydrangeas for a minute, because I think those are some that a lot of people aren't as familiar with. That's the Japanese mountain hydrangea. Similar to the big mop heads, but almost always, not always, but almost always a lace cap type
Correct.
bloom.
Correct.
And in my experience, a little bit hardier as far as the flower buds, a little more reliable blooming.
I would agree with you 100% on that.
So
I would agree with you
you get
100%
a
on that.
more reliable show, I think, out of the serratas like Blue Bird and Blue Billow and Blue Deckle. So in addition to beautiful hydrangeas and beautiful overstory, you've got hosta collection, you've got some daylilies in places where you have enough sun to do it. You have some other magnificent specimen trees. But I know you've mentioned to me before 3 perennials that you just wouldn't be without.
Wouldn't be without.
And what are they?
Bio-Covo geranium.
Geranium.
Very low, very well behaved, very hardy, beautiful fall color. Walker's Low Nepeta.
The catmint.
And Dianthus. My fave is Bath's Pink.
Still my favorite too. Only 4 weeks or so of bloom in the spring, but magnificent
Ground cover.
and a perfect evergreen ground cover for full sun.
Exactly.
And we don't have a lot of really good ground covers for full sun
You are absolutely
in our
right.
climate.
I agree.
Until you get into things like junipers but perennial ground covers that give you a really good season year-round of
Year-round.
foliage.
Yeah.
And then this spectacular 4 weeks of bloom where the air is scented with cloves and wonderful plant.
And, you can just mow that Walker's Low down, cut it back, and here we go.
Right back out it comes.
Right back out it comes.
Starts looking a little ratty, cut it to the ground.
Cut it to the ground. You can do the same thing, the Bio-Covo. Yes, groom it down. It will give you some rebloom. Dianthus will not, but it's a beautiful ground cover.
Right. One other thing that you mentioned a little bit ago was the changes that have happened in 30 years. And I think
Yeah.
to be a gardener,
Yeah.
you have to embrace change.
You have to.
And if you are the kind of person who cannot embrace change, gardening is going to be a really tough hobby because it changes from morning to night, changes from week to week, month to month, year to year. Storm comes
Right.
through, takes a tree down, the pine trees die from...
There you go. I've had all of that.
So, and sometimes we just choose to make changes also. I know
Correct.
when I was here the first time 25 years ago, there was a magnificent big koi pond. And Sally chose to change that at one point.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
But life changes.
Life
And
changes.
So,
The evolution has been wonderful,
Right.
and I don't have any regrets
no regrets.
about anything.
That's
I
good.
really don't. I really don't. I think the basic bones and shape of the garden, which has evolved with different plant material over the years, has all been good.
Yeah. I think that's a good point to make. If you have good bones, if you take the
Yes.
time in the beginning to create these beautiful spaces with great stone walls and great walkways, or whatever kind of walls you choose to build, or no walls, but if you create the bones
Correct.
first
Right.
and spend some time and probably a little bit of money
For sure.
and get that part of it done, then the rest of it is kind of the icing on the cake.
It is.
And-
And over the decades, it will reap benefits, and things will change, and your palette of plant material will change somewhat, probably, because your light level is going to change, probably.
Right.
But it's a wonderful journey.
Always
It
a
is
pleasure
a wonderful journey.
to be here, and thank you so much for letting us come and visit again.
Thanks, Troy.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.